Skyrim is undoubtedly one of the biggest gaming hits of the past decade, with players coming back to it over and over again. The game also has a very active modding community that is responsible for some great enhancements to the game. For this article in particular, we are going to take a look at some of the best Skyrim mods that will make you laugh. So buckle up and get ready to enjoy the ride. Best Skyrim mods that will ensure a laugh. The Game of Thrones coffee cup mod. To kick off our list of the funniest, yet best Skyrim mods, we have the Game of Thrones coffee cup mod. If you're a fan of the series, you're likely familiar with the joke that the creator of this mod is getting at. If not, let me explain. She's a singer, songwriter, philanthropist, mother and daughter of the king. Yup, Lisa Marie Presley is truly multifaceted. Elvis' only child, has modeled, put out albums, become a proud mom of 4, and even testified before Congress against the skyrocketing number of young children receiving prescription medication, such as antidepressants and Ritalin. Elvis and Priscilla Presley's daughter has not had a perfect life, however. In the 4th episode of the final season of HBO's Game of Thrones, someone accidentally left a Starbucks coffee cup on set, which ended up making it into the episode's airing. Far from it. As Presley's own bio points out, she was tasked with the daunting challenge of finding her own path while still maintaining her strong family connection, and she hasn't always succeeded. Just take her net worth as an example. Now, with most shows, this wouldn't be a problem, but since Game of Thrones is set long before the first Starbucks was built, there is a small problem here. The Randy, Macho Man, Savage mod. If you're a fan of wrestling, you'll likely be familiar with this next Skyrim mod. Randy, Macho Man, Savage is one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015. While Presley's late father was worth $20 million adjusted for inflation as of July 2020, his sole heir was in the red with a net worth of $16 million. If his name isn't ringing a bell, you remember his main catchphrase, "Oh yeah." Here's a video for those who don't know. In the Randy Savage mod, all of the dragons in the game will both look and sound like Macho Man Randy Savage. But her financial struggles are just one small part of the many hardships Lisa Marie Presley has faced and continues to face in her life. These are the tragic details about Lisa Marie Presley. As a child, she found her father's lifeless body. Lisa Marie Presley had a harsh introduction to death early on, as she told Larry King Live in 2003. It's actually pretty fun and considered by many to be one of the best Skyrim mods of all time. The poop mod. We had to, okay. Don't judge us until you try it. It was August 16, 1977, when, at 9 years old, she discovered Elvis' lifeless body on the bathroom floor inside Graceland. His girlfriend, Ginger Alden, was trying to help, but the first thing Lisa Marie did was call her father's ex, Linda Thompson. As Thompson told Larry King, the young Presley would call me from time to time because we were very close, but this time, she had a desperate tone in her voice. That's when she said, "Linda, it's Lisa. My daddy's dead." When King asked Presley to elaborate on what exactly happened that morning, she brushed off the subject. Years later, however, she did relive that tragic day. It was 4 a.m. With the poop mod, players will be able to, well, use poop for evil. I was supposed to be asleep, actually. He found me, she recalled in 2018, per Radar Online. In the mod, players will be able to harvest manure from different animals and use it to craft weapons, create recipes, and more. He kissed her goodnight, and that was the last time she saw him alive. Elvis was battling an addiction to food and prescription drugs, and, although Presley was too young to fully understand, she knew something was wrong. I remember first seeing his stomach and worried to death over that, she said. It truly is the circle of life. Unfortunately, we couldn't grab a video of this one, but you can check it out via the link above. The Thomas the Train mod. This Skyrim mod might ruin your childhood, but it's still pretty funny and a little creepy. The Thomas the Train mod is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of dragons flying around, players will be met with Thomas the Train, and a pretty creepy looking one at that. Following his passing, Elvis' body remained in Graceland for 3 days, but it didn't spook the young Lisa Marie. If you're now scarred for life, it's not my fault. The Spider-Man mod. Unfortunately, it seems that this mod is no longer available, and it's a real shame because it is truly amazing. As the name implies, all of the spiders in the game have been turned into a demented form of Spider-Man. I really don't want to say anything else about it, because I couldn't possibly do it justice. There was something very oddly comforting about that, which made it not necessarily real to me," she remembered. Michael Jackson made her feel disposable. In August 1994, Lisa Marie Presley married Michael Jackson in a top-secret ceremony. Just watch the video above and thank me later. Zoidberg Mudcrab mod. If you're a Futurama fan, you've gotta download the Zoidberg Mudcrab mod. Confirming the union, she declared, "Per people, I am very much in love with Michael, I dedicate my life to being his wife." In 1996, they called it quits. Explaining why the union dissolved, Presley told Oprah in 2010, "There was a very profound point in the marriage when he had to make a decision. Was it the drugs and the sort of vampires, or me?" she revealed. "And he pushed me away." Clarifying that vampires were sycophants, she highlighted the similarities between her husband and late father, saying, "The one thing that correlates with Michael and with my father on this subject is that they had the luxury of creating whatever reality around them they wanted to create. What's more, she felt disposable, and it was the same with my father." Years later, in 2019, Jackson's personal assistant, Scott Schaefer, told The Sun he noticed things kind of going downhill between them because he wouldn't tell her things, like where he was going. He believes the final straw came when Jackson was in New York filming an HBO special in around 1995 and he collapsed on stage. When Presley arrived at the hospital, he gave her an hour, then asked her to leave. At that point, she'd just had enough, and that was literally when she called her lawyer to start divorce proceedings, said Schaefer. She tried to save Michael Jackson, and failed. Lisa Marie Presley loved taking care of Michael Jackson. While the original one was taken down, a dedicated fan has done their best to recreate the mod to its former glory. Let's be honest, the mudcrabs are annoying, but seeing them in the form of Zoidberg is far more pleasurable, sort of. The People into Cheese mod. I honestly don't even know what to say about the People into Cheese mod, but here we go. Essentially, you turn people into cheese. It's a little more complicated than that, but basically you can unlock a special shout that you can use to temporarily turn your enemies into a cheese wheel. So have fun. The Shout Fart mod. Okay, we're probably getting out of control here, but the Shout Fart mod is definitely one of the most unique and funniest, depending on your sense of humor, mods out there. As the name implies, every time you bend over to shout, you'll make a farting noise. I know it sounds dumb, but I also know that deep down you want to try it. Super Skyrim Bros. In fact, she told Oprah in 2010 it was the highest point of my life. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse when Presley realized she couldn't help Jackson overcome his demons. Mod. You didn't really think our list of the funniest, yet best Skyrim mods list would be complete without a Mario spoof, did you? In the Super Skyrim Bros mod, players will have to race through the world of Skyrim to rescue Princess Toadstool from Bowser. The mod even features everyone's favorite character from the Mario series, Waluigi. The Sonic the Hedgehog mod. Did you think we'd get away with mentioning Mario but not Sonic? Unfortunately, it looks like the Sonic the Hedgehog Skyrim mod is no longer available, but it will live on in our memories thanks to YouTube. It might be a good thing the mod no longer exists because, as you can see in the video above, this is a super sketchy version of Sonic. This is going to wrap up our list of the funniest yet best Skyrim mods. We've got a lot of other great Skyrim content on our site, so be sure to check out some of the links below. What of the mods listed above is your favorite? Be sure to let us know on Twitter or Facebook. When the pop superstar died in 2009, Presley opened up their marriage on her MySpace blog, sharing how difficult it was to watch the exact scenario I saw happen on August 16, 1977 happening again right now with Michael, a sight I never wanted to see again. Placing much of the blame on herself, she wrote via Oprah.com, "The person I failed to help is being transferred right now to the LA County Coroner's Office for his autopsy." Noting that 14 years earlier, she, along with Jackson's family, were worried that this would be the outcome, Presley admitted that all she wanted during their marriage was to save him from the inevitable, which is what has just happened. Presley also revealed how, following their divorce, she spent a few years obsessing about him and what I could have done different, in regret. It was a decision she had to make for her own well-being, however. In trying to save him, I almost lost myself, she noted. I became very ill and spiritually exhausted in my quest to save him from certain self-destructive behavior and from the awful vampires and leeches he would always manage to magnetize around him." Did her business manager lose all of her money? You might assume that being Elvis' daughter would entitle Lisa Marie Presley to a large sum of cash, but as of February 2018, her net worth had dwindled to a mere $14,000. At least that's what Presley claimed in a lawsuit against her former business manager, Barry Siegel. According to Radar Online, she accused him of diminishing her $100 million fortune through his reckless and negligent mismanagement and self-serving ambition, and sued him for breach of trust, breach of fiduciary duty, negligence, constructive fraud, negligent misrepresentation, unjust enrichment and accounting. According to The Blast, Presley said in the suit that Siegel put his own best interests ahead of her, and sold off 85% of her interest in Elvis Presley Enterprises, leaving her with over $500,000 in credit card debt. And that's not even scratching the surface. As People reported, her overall debt was a whopping $16.7 million. Siegel denied such claims and countersued Presley in June 2019, per The Blast, alleging that she wasted away her own money and that she owed him $800,000 in fees for all of the work he did before being fired in 2016. As of September 2019, their legal battle was raging on. Her marriage to Nicolas Cage was a big mistake. Lisa Marie Presley has a penchant for headline-making weddings. In August 2002, she married Nicolas Cage in a top-secret Hawaiian ceremony, and by November 2002, the couple had filed for divorce. "I'm sad about this, but we shouldn't have been married in the first place," she admitted, calling the nuptials a big mistake. The following year, during a May 2003 interview with Larry King, Presley explained what went wrong, saying, "It looked attractive, like I could be equal. Similar situations, similar backgrounds. So we connected, we had a great connection," she shared. "We were both we're sort of these gypsy-spirited, tyrannical pirates. And one pirate marries another, they will sink the ship basically is what it comes down to," she quipped. Asked how soon after the ceremony she had realized her mistake, Presley told King, "We'd been together for 2 years before we got married, so it was one of those things where you're marrying hoping that you're going to either stabilize it or it's going to, accentuate all that was going on prior to what was problematic. So it kind of did the latter, that's all," she concluded. What's more, the tabloids also played a part in their downfall by targeting Cage's Elvis fandom. Presley added that she and Cage got annoyed, and realized, "We cannot be because you're an Elvis freak, thing. Which is said about both of us, actually." Lisa Marie Presley battled her own demons in a 2003 paper interview. Via Daily News, Lisa Marie Presley admitted she began to mix cocaine, sedatives, pot and drinking at a young age because she just couldn't be sober. After that, she kept quiet about her battle until her 2016 divorce from Michael Lockwood brought her struggle into the open. According to a 2017 deposition obtained by Radar Online, Presley admitted to abusing cocaine terribly during the last 3 years of her marriage, revealed she was also taking painkillers and opioids, and went to rehab several times, including 3 or 4 times in Mexico. She added that she didn't mix the pills and alcohol until like the last 2 years. In August 2016, Us Weekly confirmed that Presley sought help for her addiction to prescription pills at LA's Hills Treatment Center, and, according to Radar Online, she returned to rehab in late 2018. Presley shared more on her opioid addiction in a 2019 foreword for the United States of Opioids, writing, per Yahoo, that it started in her 40s. "I was recovering after the 2008 birth of my daughters, Vivian and Finley, when a doctor prescribed me opioids for pain," she revealed. "It only took a short-term prescription of opioids in the hospital for me to feel the need to keep taking them." Noting she's grateful to be alive today, she added she's thankful to have 4 beautiful children who have given me a sense of purpose that has carried me through dark times. Her only son took his own life. Lisa Marie Presley suffered unspeakable heartbreak yet again when, in July 2020, 27-year-old Benjamin Keough, her only son and second child with first husband Danny Keough, took his own life. Presley's manager, Roger Widenowski, confirmed the tragic news, saying via BBC that his client was heartbroken, inconsolable and beyond devastated. "She adored that boy," he continued, adding, "he was the love of her life." While he wouldn't offer any details about the circumstances surrounding Keogh's death, the L.A.
County Medical Examiner coroner later confirmed, via TMZ, that Presley's son had committed suicide at their home. No one else was present at the time. While Presley hasn't spoken out about the loss, her mother, Priscilla, got candid on Facebook, writing, "These are some of the darkest days of my family's life. The shock of losing Ben has been devastating," she shared, adding, "Each day I wake up I pray it will get better. Then, I think of my daughter and the pain she is going through as she was a doting mother." Presley's oldest daughter and Keogh's sister, Riley, also opened her heart on Instagram, revealing, "Mornings are the hardest. I forget you're gone. I can't cry because of the fear that I will never stop," she wrote, calling Benjamin, "too sensitive for this harsh world. I hope you give me strength to endure the giant hole you've left in my heart," she continued. "I guess this is true heartbreak. If you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK 8255 or text HOME to the crisis text line at 741741. Lisa Marie Presley was forced out of her home following the tragic loss of her son, who took his own life inside the family's Calabasas home. Lisa Marie Presley decided to leave the $1.8 million mansion, and its heartbreaking memories, behind. According to The Sun, Presley and her family had been living in the home since 2017, but had temporarily moved out into a Beverly Hills hotel due to mold problems. It was during this time, while the house stood empty, that Benjamin returned on his own and took his life. While Presley was forced to visit the premises to speak with police, when everything was taken care of, she left for good, and has no plans of going back. They were already dealing with the mold problem and now Lisa doesn't want to return. She is too distressed and doesn't ever want to relive that morning, a source told the outlet. She had been looking for a rental while staying at the hotel, going back and forth to the house only to sort things out, and she's now found somewhere. The insider added that, "It's the right place for the family to hole up for a while and grieve privately as they navigate this awful time in their lives." She couldn't protect her son from the fame monster. Lisa Marie Presley is a proud mom who has drawn a sense of purpose from her 4 kids, Riley and Benjamin Keogh, from her first husband, musician Danny Keogh, and twin daughters Harper and Finley Lockwood, from her 4th husband, musician Michael Lockwood. In 2014, she told Healthy Living via her blog that they all stay together and are very close. "Wherever I am they have their rooms and live with me," she continued, adding, "I just smother them in love and I am also ferociously protective." Presley also said that it's her priority to make sure they are happy and healthy, but unfortunately, she couldn't help her son overcome his demons. According to Benjamin's friend, musician Brandon Howard, who spoke with People following Keogh's passing, Presley's son struggled with depression, and with living up to the Presley legacy. "It's a tough thing when you have a lot of pressure with your family and living up to a name and an image," he said. "It's almost like you're pressured into having to be a musician, having to be an actor." Meanwhile, writer Tony Ortega reported that, over the years, Keogh also struggled with substance abuse and had been in rehab for drug and alcohol addiction shortly before his death. Her divorce from Michael Lockwood is beyond nasty. After a decade of marriage to Michael Lockwood, Lisa Marie Presley filed for divorce in 2016, according to AP. As of July 2020, the couple was still embroiled in a legal battle that just keeps getting nastier. While Presley has accused her ex of everything from stealing millions to sexual misconduct, claiming he had disturbing photos of their twin daughters, Lockwood has fired back with accusations that Presley was paranoid and hallucinatory, taking as many as 80 opiate pills a day, and using their kids as bait to discredit him. What's more, in February 2018, Presley was ordered to pay Lockwood's $100,000 legal fees. Jumped to December 2019, and he was ordered to pay her $140,000 legal fees. Money has been a major point of contention, with Lockwood arguing that he didn't fully understand the couple's 2017 postnuptial agreement, in which they agreed their assets would remain separate, when he signed it. But in August 2018, a judge ruled the postnup was valid, and Lockwood seemed to turn his attention to the custody of their twin girls. In July 2020, right after Benjamin Keogh's passing, Lockwood filed a motion asking for sole custody, claiming he was worried Lisa Marie would relapse. He said, via Us Weekly, "With all due sympathy and respect, this creates a new and unaddressed twofold problem: the safety of the children and the greater likelihood of petitioner to relapse into drug or alcohol dependency.